Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm sharing with you all a recipe for dumpling oil down. Yes, I know. If you've never had this before, trust me, you all are going to enjoy it. And today's recipe is being inspired by my friend Danica. So thank you Danica for sharing this with me. We're going to start by making our dumplings. So first we're going to start with 1.5 cups of flour, salt and coconut milk powder. The detailed ingredients would be listed in the description box. Give that a quick mix and then we'll go in with green seasoning. I already have a recipe for green seasoning on my channel and I'll link it for you all down below. Now we're going to mix the green seasoning into the flour and then we're going to add in our water a little at a time. We're going to make a very firm dough. You don't want the dough to be too soft because when you cut your dumplings it's going to be really hard to pick up. So just add your water a little at a time and keep bringing the dry flour together so that it forms a firm dough ball. Now once your dough ball is formed, you don't want to over knead your flour. Just bring it together into a dough ball and cover with a damp paper towel or tea towel and allow this to rest. While this is resting, let's prepare the base for this dish. In a skillet, add in oil. To that, I'm going to go in with chopped onions and pimento peppers and a piece of scotch bonnet. If you're cooking for kids, you'd probably want to omit the scotch bonnet. But this is a great dish to have by the river or when you're making a lime and you have curry duck, curry kong, curry crab. It's a great side dish for that. Cook the aromatics until they're light brown on the edges and then go in with garlic. And we're going to add in some chopped scythe and celery or scallions. Allow that to cook for about a minute. And then we're going to go in with our coconut milk. Now that's 2 cups of coconut milk in there. If you wanted more, you can add some more water just to give you that. And 1 packet of coconut milk powder because this is going to be a really rich and decadent oil down. Mix that in. You make sure you don't want the milk to be lumpy in there. Now I'm going to go in with 1 teaspoon of this Caribbean citrus seasoning. Or you can use an all-purpose or complete. And I'm going in with a tablespoon of green seasoning. And here I have some bouillon powder and some all-purpose seasoning that goes in. Use whatever you have in your pantry to season this. Now goes in chopped bhaji or dasheen bush. And if you don't have dasheen bush, you can use baby spinach for this recipe. You just want to chop up the baby spinach. Once the bhaji / dasheen bush starts to get tender, this comes up to a simmer. We'll go ahead and roll out our dumpling and drop them in here. So allow this to come up to a simmer and then we'll move on to that next step. At this point you can taste that milk and make sure it's well seasoned. Okay, so it's to a rolling boil. You can drop your heat to low, make sure this doesn't overflow on your stove. And let's start on the dough. You want to flour your surface and roll out your dough ball to about 1/4 inch in thickness. If you don't flour your surface well, this can stick to your surface and then it's going to be hard to pick up. So roll it out. I like doing 1/4 inch. If you wanted to do it thinner or thicker, feel free to do what works for you. And you can see the specks of green seasoning in the dough as I roll it out. Now I'm going to take my pizza cutter and I'm going to cut this into small squares. You see how I put that extra dry flour just to make sure that it does not stick. Now I like to do squares, but if you wanted to roll them into an almond shape, of course you can. Now once you finish cut these, we'll drop them into the simmering coconut milk mixture. You see how easy it was to pick up? The dry flour does that. So I'm just going to drop these in. You don't want your heat to be on extremely high for this, and you also want to continuously stir this because the dumplings can stick to the bottom of the pot and start burning. So like every 5 minutes you're going to go in and just give it a gentle mix until the dumplings are cooked. It should take about 10 to 12 minutes to cook thoroughly. I'm just going to give it that turn as I said, and I can already feel it starting to stick. It sticks pretty quickly. Now for me, I want this to thicken up a little more. This is a little too runny for me, so I'm going to allow it to continue to cook. And you can tell that it's sticking a little, and the sauce is starting to thicken up at this time. And it's going to start to look like oil down. Now this is perfect. I'm going to finish with golden ray butter, or you can use a salted butter, you can use French maid, use whatever you have in your pantry. If you don't have golden ray, it's totally optional. Mix that in. You want to taste and adjust your salt, and then this is ready to be served. I promise you all, this was really amazing. And as I said, if you wanted to serve this with curry crab, curry conch, curry duck, you name it, curry fish even, it is going to be amazing. I hope you guys try this recipe. Let me know down below what you think. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I'll see you in my next video. Bye everyone.